Thank you so much for coming back to my channel today. I've been talking a lot about international the last few days, and today we're going to dive in a little bit deeper when you're on the plane. You've gone through security, you've gone through everything, and now you're getting ready to go on the plane. What are some of the things that you need to do to make sure that you have a nice flight, that you know what to do and how to navigate it? The one thing that I did forget to mention is that when you're going on an international flight and you're going to be on an airplane for a really long time, it's super important to boost your immune system. So whether you do that a couple days before or whether you do it in the airport, you can make sure you take your vitamins or take airborne or emergency, or just do something to boost your immune system with some vitamins and some really healthy food, because being in the airplane for a really long time can take its toll on your immune system. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I should have talked about that previously, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it now. So what I tend to do and what I like to do that makes my traveling so much better is I like to download my movies or my shows that I like on my phone, because I could download Netflix, I could download Prime as well. And the thing about downloading your videos that you like, it's super helpful, because when you're in Italy, when you're anywhere in the world, you're not going to be able to download any movies. You might not even be able to watch them on Netflix because of the licensing issues. So if you download those to your device, then if you wanted to watch something when you're in your hotel, you also have that. So I really like to do that. And then also you want to make sure that you have your headphones. So whether you have your Bluetooth headphones that need to be charged or whether you have your plug-in, just make sure that you have your headphones. I like to wear my Bluetooth, and I always keep a small little one that I could plug in just in case, because it's really important to be able to listen to your music or to your videos or whatever you want to do. So those are the one of the very first things that you want to do. You also want to make sure that you always bring your medications on the airplane. Don't ever put important things in your carry-on. So your medications are really important, because if you didn't have those, that would be a problem. So make sure you always carry your medications on the plane with you. Also, you want to bring a water bottle. I always like to bring my water bottle, and I've shown you some of my water bottles that are foldable, and I'll put a link to the video up here. But it's really important that you have a water bottle. And while they give you water while you're there, you want to drink a lot of water when you're on the plane. And I know that it's like, oh my gosh, if I drink water, I have to go to the restroom. Well, yes. And it's good because it forces you to get up and walk. Because if you're on 10-hour flight, an 8-hour flight, whatever it is, you need to walk to get your blood flowing. Which brings me to the other important thing you need to do is wear compression socks. So you need to make sure you wear compression socks when you're on the plane. And I have done that. I really love these merino wool compression socks that a subscriber told me about, and they're really comfortable. But I don't like to wear them like all the time. So I brought them with me. And then before I got on the plane, I put them on, and I really liked it. It felt really good. So you want your compression socks, you want to move around, and you want to drink a lot of water. So all of those three things kind of keep you moving and keep you hydrated. And that's really important. So when you're on the plane, it's really nice to have your own snacks. And I know I talk about food all the time and snacks. I'm always wanting the snacks, but it's important because they give you plenty of food, but you want to make sure though that if you're hungry, you have food that you want. But more than that, when you land in another country, you just don't know what the situation is. Like, of course, there's food everywhere. It's not like you're going to have a problem with food, but it's kind of nice just to be able to throw some protein bars in your mouth or some nuts or something that can get you from point A to point B, like to your hotel or whatever it is that you need to do. But the one thing you need to be extra careful is you cannot leave the plane with anything that's live. You don't want to bring any fruits or veggies or meats, anything like that. You do not want to take that off the plane going into another country because they can confiscate that. So you can bring those items on the plane when you're coming from the United States, and you can eat those on the plane if you want, but just don't take them off the plane when you get to your destination. The other thing that's really important is you want to try to get some sleep. You want to get some sleep on the plane. So you want to make sure you bring an eye mask, maybe some earplugs, something that, like a shawl that would keep you comfortable. And the other thing too is maybe have a sleep aid or some essential oil, something to relax you, whatever it is that works for you, because getting some sleep would be really beneficial once you land. And then, of course, that turns into jet lag, to try to make sure that you mitigate your jet lag symptoms. And I could post a video here I did on jet lag. But one of the things that you can do is once you get on the plane is set your watch to the time at the destination that you're going to be at. So you kind of know what the time is, and you can start to think, okay, well, it's nighttime there. I'm going to try to sleep. Or you can kind of gauge the activity, your body's activity, as you're trying to adjust to the new time. There's been some recommendations that even before you get your flight, you start to try to change your sleeping patterns just a little to get adjusted to the new time zone, because jet lag can definitely affect your trip when you first land. So there are some ways that you can mitigate that. And like I said, I do have that video you can watch on jet lag. And in line with all of that, you want to make sure that you have comfortable clothes on, something that is that moves easily, that you can be really comfortable. And look nice. I think that it's really important to at least try to look, put together, not with your sloppiest clothes, because it when you get to the other country, it's nice to be able to present yourself, you're sort of put together. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like to wear like ponte pants. They're like sweatpants, but they look nicer. And for me, because I'm always hot, I like to make sure I have a tank top and then a shirt on top. That way I could, adjust the temperature as needed, because that's really important. The other thing that's really important to remember is after the last meal that they're going to serve you on the plane. And so it's usually breakfast. So they're going to feed you before you land, and it's usually about 2 hours before you land. Then they'll feed you. Then you have about an hour before you actually land. What I like to do, and I make sure I do this all the time because I've made the mistake before, is go to the restroom right after you have that meal, like within 15 minutes of that meal, so that when you land, you don't have to waste time going into the restroom. Because what you're going to want to do is get off and just hightail it over to passport control and get in line, because there's going to be a line. Sometimes there's not, and you're really lucky you can sail through, but most of the time there's a line. So if you take care of your business, do whatever you need to do so you're all set, you can get off the plane and go directly to passport control. And then that way you'll have, you can get in line and get that process started. And I'll be talking about what to do once you land in another video, but this video is all about what to do on the plane, what would be the best scenario for you. And when you get to passport control, they may or may not ask you questions, a couple of questions like, are you here for business? Are you here for leisure? They may ask you some questions, or they may not. It just depends. But then they'll take your photo, and then you'll be on your way to pick up your luggage and then go through customs, which may or may not have something there for you. I mean, sometimes they have customs officers there, and sometimes they don't. So it just depends, and just pay attention to the signage and it'll take you. It's pretty clear. Everything is usually in English, so you'll be able to navigate and figure out what to do. The other thing to remember is to bring your antibacterial wipes so you can wipe down your your tray and kind of wipe down the area around you, because you're going to be snuggling in it for a long time. So I hope all of this information has been helpful when you get onto the plane, when you're making your way towards your international destination, and hopefully that all makes sense. And if you have any questions or anything, please, any comments or any suggestions, what have you found that have been helpful? I'd love to hear that in the comments. So thank you so much. I'd love it if you would like and subscribe to this video. It would help me out a lot. So thanks so much, and ciao for now. Take care. Bye.